Kwame, today I wanted some practical demonstration of insomnia by Bekano.
Yeah.
We just make it too abstract and all of that. And somebody asked me a question. What's a thought glass?
What's a thought glass?
No, last week I mentioned a thought glass.
Yes.
So today I said I'll make it real so that those who are on
so you decided to bring your thought glass.
Kwame, the description the spray you are putting up, I decided to bring a thought glass.
Okay.
I decided to bring a thought glass just to come and show to those who are not familiar with it.
Okay, so
but the moment I entered, Philip said, "Oh, that's where the anchor me catch you now."
Okay. We'll be on the cam. Hey, any pie cobra? What's me driving now? Thought glass. And you see, the thing is, me who thought glass crowd will be feed out. I just buy home because now who they'll come.
But
hey, who?
Why is it? I hear that there's a new phenomenon that these things they've outlived their usefulness.
The thought glass. Why? It's slow. Wow.
Right. So
no. But I saw a bottle of beer on the table, and then a wine glass.
And
Where
a
did
wine
they go?
glass.
Where did they go?
Producer.
So if you're watching us live on Facebook, Doc had all these things for demonstration.
Yes,
but
yes.
Who drank the beer though? Because it was full.
It was full.
Yeah, it was full, and the beer.
When I came, it was.
And there's a wine glass.
I thought it was after the after show.
I don't know what my producer is. It Mirabelle? Because today though she's walking. She was not walking in a straight line.
Hey,
so I'm surprised.
What have they been doing before we?
Looks like they want to practicalize the conversation. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
Right. So, good afternoon to all our listeners. And last week we started a very important conversation, looking at alcohol. And Kwame, as you rightly said, it's the festive season, or we're coming up to the festive season, end of the year for a lot of businesses. When we want to wind down the year, we will have parties and we socialize.
Since you mentioned businesses, let me say that some of the business they do corporate hampers. Yes, and I received a lot of corporate hampers with a lot of alcohol inside. And I'm wondering, these business partners of ours, the one we could drink like that. It's not like, the weapons are very fine wine.
Oh, yeah.
Fine liquor in there. I'm like, okay.
I'll tell you the right.
I like that business.
So yes, one talk about Ubenyanum.
Yeah.
So this is our show, and I felt that it's very important for us to discuss alcohol in that context, because it might be the tendency for us to overindulge, not only in just drinks, but then in food and everything around this time. So, we started that conversation. I think by today, everybody knows, what alcohol is. Ethanol, drinkable alcohol is ethanol. We looked at that. We looked at the different types of alcohol. We talked about the beers, we talked about wines, and then we also talked about the spirits. And today, last week, I got a lot of messages, people asking specifics about, okay, so do you want us to, I say we can't drink, can we drink? And I was like, okay, fine. Today I'm going to talk about the responsible use of alcohol, and then Kwame will conclude by looking at the health implications of overindulging in alcohol.
Okay.
So the question is, can I drink alcohol safely? That seems to be the question I was getting in my box a lot after last week.
Today, don't do that thing.
Which is?
Answer yes or no. Don't come and be saying this one is it is not yes, it is not no. Make up your mind.
Kwame, answer to that question is a tricky concept.
Wow, look, I knew it.
Tricky concept.
I knew
Why
it.
do I say it's a tricky concept? We always say drink responsibly. Isn't that what they write on the bottles and all of that? Anytime I'm able to the bar, you buy that kind of crowd woman. So play. So I will explain it this way. I want to first define what a unit or a standard drink, because that's what most of the time people will see. Will say, oh, take a standard drink. You're not supposed to take more than 10, 14, whatever it is. So let me just go over that explanation first. What is a standard drink or a unit of alcohol? Well, it depends on what you're drinking. If you're drinking a spirit, meaning an alcoholic drink that contains 50% ethanol, 50% or more, then we'll call it a spirit. If you're doing that, then this tot glass represents one.
Just
unit.
One. Just one.
Say, hey, now call me vodka or whiskey.
Do you mean one at a time?
One is one unit. And you know that we'll begin to talk about the allowable limits, or the allowable limits.
Because I've never, not that I go to the blue kiosk, but I've never seen the guy at the blue kiosk pour one tot glass into a glass.
But
do you understand?
I am one direct. No, they are pimp.
It's not even that though. Unse almost share glass. Three. Na ya chono so kakra. Obua mo ruli.
Or your customer. Or your customer. Yes. So I just want people to know in their minds what we are talking about, like practicalizing it.
Okay.
That is what one unit is. If it is apeteshi, if it is any of those spirits, then this tot glass, small as it is, that's one unit. If it is wine, then Kwame, it's not a big wine glass.
Yeah.
The very slender one, 120 mils.
Yeah.
That's the size.
That one, they don't fill it up full.
No.
They fill it like halfway thereabouts, right?
Right. Yes, if they are doing the spirits or something. But if it is wine, a full 120 ml glass of wine.
That's fine.
That's one unit.
What I'm saying is that you see the picture behind you.
Right, yes.
That's how they serve wine.
Wine.
They don't serve it in full.
Okay, yes, full. Okay, yeah. So that's about it.
Yeah.
So this picture behind me, that is about 120 mils. You're absolutely right. So you don't feel it, but Kwame, the reason why I don't want to encourage use of this is that I said, "Oh, I'm feeling that there's more space to go." But yes, you're absolutely right. This is how they pour it. So that's about 100. So if you know the regular wine glass, half of it is 1 unit. That is if you are doing wine.
Yeah.
Then if you take the mini size beer bottle.
Yeah.
Not the big one. The big one is 625. The mini one is about 330 or 300. Yes, that also represents 1 unit.
Just one.
Or if you like, the canned drink.
Just one.
Yes.
Hey, Mimi. No.
So that's all. This is 1 unit.
Okay.
Then this is the recommendation that if you are a healthy or there's an adult male.
Yeah.
A healthy adult male, meaning you are above 18 years.
Yeah.
Then you are entitled to 21 units of alcohol in a week.
Okay.
Right. So if you're taking your beer, that mini, well, you have up to 21.
1 crate.
Hey. In crates near the crate 24.
You name. We are
then crate.
We are then we.
Crate the maker. I'm using the egg crate as
okay.
But 21. Okay. I'll take it from you. I will argue. So that is that for males, and then for females, non-pregnant adult females who are otherwise healthy, then not more than 14 units. Not more than 14 units. Up to. So those are the ceilings that we provide.
Why is there gender disparity in this?
Why
shouldn't it be equal, better? Equal, Equal the why justice for the women.
For this one, the women are not protesting. Why
no, they have to. We have to. On behalf of the women, pay, I'm protesting.
Equal pay, equal
allowance
and all that. But this one, they are not protesting.
Equal alcohol limits. Equal alcohol limits.
So a lower amount. But Kwame, you realize that I mentioned non-pregnant females.
Healthy females.
Yes. And then healthy males as well. I'm going to make a very important point about a pregnant woman who exposes the fetus to alcohol.
Okay.
There is a condition we call fetal alcohol syndrome.
Okay.
When that fetus is continuously exposed to alcohol during the pregnancy, it creates certain conditions, devastating physical and mental disabilities for the child. Low body weight or low birth weight. Low birth weight is associated with a whole host of problems, meaning at birth, the child weighs below 2.5 kilos. Then we'll talk about a low birth weight. There are also birth defects. The heart, the kidneys, and then the bones. So we call them congenital heart defects. When you are born, just that day, we realize that you have some heart problems. There are vision and hearing problems. Shorter than average height. Small head size. So that's one of the things that we measure when babies are born. And sometimes the mothers wonder. We tease children. When we're younger, we tease each other, you have a big head. Actually, having a big head is good. Big head means big brains. So I didn't teacher a small head size is not a good thing. It indicates that the brain is small, and that is one of the results of exposure to alcohol.
Okay.
And the child will be left with a lot of cognitive problems. Cannot use the brain, or the brain doesn't function properly. Some of the behavioral or mental challenges they have under this fetal alcohol syndrome: poor coordination, difficulty with attention, poor memory, difficulty in school. And they limited this thing to especially solving math problems. A lot of people struggle with mathematics in this country.
Those who don't still remember the quadratic equation. We know what your parents did. Wow.
Learning disabilities, speech and language delays, intellectual disability, low IQ, poor reasoning and judgment skills. I don't know the Africa I see a year because na Kwame you're for no Africa judgment skills no more demonstrating makes you wonder alcohol no. So anyway, Kwame, these are the list of different physical and mental or cognitive challenges that a pregnant woman or a woman who drinks alcohol potentially exposes a child to. And that is why for women we are always very, very cautious. And I strongly advise. You know that in this country and globally, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks on the average for a woman to first know that she's pregnant. Yes. So if you don't know and you are drinking, you already exposed the child to the alcohol way before you realize that you are pregnant. Oh, okay, so I've stopped drinking. But most people, it's 6 weeks, 7 weeks after the pregnancy exists before they know that they are pregnant. So, Kwame, let us now look at the effects of alcohol on health, the various effects, and why I beyond the pregnant women, I think that we should not, we should be careful about sticking to the limits. Kwame, you have a glint in your eye.
I have a question, a small question. So this is, you are talking about the women, right?
Uh-huh.
So the man too, if I drink, it affects the baby, the thing, you understand?
The what?
Oh, doc, if you question,
question.
You are talking about the women, if they drink, it may affect the baby. I say the men too, way they supply the organisms.
Almost all bubble. No,
they can't swim well. You understand? Because you see, sometimes even after your wife is pregnant, you do top up.
Top up course. Top up course.
Learn about pregnancy.
Exactly.
So does it affect
you water
that
it
too?
Well, that's a quite one boy. We the crab water. You face you are.
Okay, all right.
You may not know where to water.
Yeah,
you water all over the place. So let's look at the effects of alcohol and health. Because this is not a Weekend City show. This is drive time on joy. And we are doing drive doctor show. So let's focus. Okay. The alcohol. Right. Kwame, so there are a number of effects of alcohol on the body. First up is the brain. Do you know that alcohol interferes with the brain's communication pathways? And the brain is a network of pathways that allows us to do a lot of different things. So if you take too much alcohol, you affect the way the brain works. Number two, the heart. Drinking a lot over a long time or too much on occasion, what we call binge drinking, can damage the heart. It can give you rhythm problems. So the heart beats to a specific rhythm all the time. And you don't want to disturb this rhythm. But unfortunately, alcohol can do that. And when you have a very poor rhythm, blood flow coming from the heart is also affected. And you may have some very, very serious complications. You develop arrhythmias. You can also get a stretching and drooping of the heart muscle.
Hey.
I'm saying him drooping. When people are young, I didn't need now, so at a certain age, then drooping comes in. Then sag. So the heart can take on that same thing. It's made of muscle.
Wow.
So you develop something we call a cardiomyopathy, where the heart becomes very stretched and the muscles are drooping and it doesn't function well to beat. The pump action of the heart is then increased with excessive drinking. The liver takes a big hit with overconsumption of alcohol. Heavy drinkers, it takes a toll on your liver, and you may get something we call a hepatitis, where you get an inflammation of the liver. You also get something predisposed to something we call alcoholic fatty liver, where you have a lot of fat deposits in the liver, which is not a good thing. And then finally, something we call cirrhosis of the liver or liver failure. Manchester United fans who know about one of their past heroes called George Best. Most people knew about George Best. He was world best player at a point. He drank away his liver, developed cirrhosis, got a transplant, drank it away too. And then I say it's okay. And then he died. So that's liver cirrhosis from alcohol. Your liver performs over 100 different functions for you. So you can imagine taking it out of action through overindulging in alcohol. Another organ we don't usually hear about is a structure very close to the liver we call the pancreas.
Right.
But everybody who is diabetic would have heard about the pancreas. The pancreas also produces a very important hormone called insulin, amongst other hormones and enzymes. Insulin regulates the amount of glucose that you produce and therefore holds diabetes in check. Most people who are diabetic, they have a problem with insulin quantity and quality of insulin produced. And this pancreas can be damaged by alcohol. You get something we call a pancreatitis, very big time inflammation of that. And the moment you take the pancreas out of function, then you would also develop diabetes because you are no longer able to produce enough insulin. Lastly, cancer. According to the National Cancer Institute of the United States, there's a strong scientific consensus that alcohol drinking can cause several types of cancers. So the abuse range. Then you increase your risk of mouth cancer, throat cancers, head and neck cancers, breast cancer, and then liver cancer, and then cancer of the large intestine, colorectal cancers. So these are the the challenges you may have. Lastly, let me talk about the immune system, and this one I found very, very interesting. I just came across it yesterday, that drinking too much can actually weaken your immune system. Post-COVID or when COVID hit, we're all talking about the immune system. The immune system, want to strengthen it, you are doing your vitamin C and all of that. So why do you want to weaken your immune system? Chronic drinkers are more liable to contract diseases like pneumonia and tuberculosis than people who do not drink.
Okay.
So there you go, with all the important health facts about alcohol. So Kwame, we have empowered people. The selection of what to drink. Now you know about the beer, the wine, the liqueurs, and then the spirits. I've also empowered people about the quantities, what a standard drink is, so that you don't go above the 21 units, healthy adult meal. You don't go above the 14 units, healthy adults, non-pregnant female. Children, no. And in Ghana, we define a child as anybody below 18. Right. So, no to children. So there we have it. So let's all drink responsibly during this Christmas period.
The organs, you talk about heart, liver, and things.
Brain.
Is that the only organs, or there's more?
And there's more. But now if I mention it, get into my car, the car park,
then don't mention it. But I just need to be sure, because there's some other organs that. How?
It's true. People think that they can perform, but it doesn't lead to performance.
So why do some people take it before and they say Yebu Didi?
It gives them confidence to think that they can do something. I don't know if any disinhibited behavior. The inebriation, the initial stage, then gives you some confidence that you can actually do something.
Meanwhile,
then the woman will end up saying,
where we?
CCA. So it does it. Contrary to popular belief, you can't perform. Too much of it. So it doesn't actually help. Are
you talking from experience?
Kwame, I'm here to educate.
Sorry. I be questioned.
I get the information from you, all of you. When I talk.
But the way you were saying, like, you are very on top of the issues. You are on top of the issues. So
is it not 5 o'clock?
I thought you gathered. You gathered the issues on top.
Is it not? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end. This is not the Weekend City show. Don't we have questions from the
in fact, Hannah, where's the mouse crying? I mean, DMV questions. So people have questions for you. If you have questions, WhatsApp at 055-1111-997. Good evening, Joe. Please ask the doctor, is there any side effects for those who don't take alcohol at all?
Yeah, the teetotalers. No. So I always say that if you don't drink alcohol already, there is no good reason to start. But as we have all mentioned, the alcohol is part of our social fabric. It's part of the way we interact socially, and you can't do away with it. But there's nothing wrong with not drinking alcohol. Indeed, some of the top performing athletes, they've never had a drop of alcohol in their body. So if you want to be in perfect shape physically, then not taking alcohol is a good thing.
I see. Yes. But I mean, there are some foods as well that have some level of alcohol in them. Is that it?
Yes. But if you look at the process that we talked about in producing the beer, the wine, fermentation.
Yeah.
So anytime you ferment cereals, for example, you generate ethanol. So that is it. So I remember back in school, then we take it. Then we throw it in the chop box.
That's right.
Then we leave it for a couple of days.
Oh my God.
That's so once the fermentation process kicks in, you begin to generate some alcohol. They use grapes and all of that, fermentation of that. So fermentation of fruits, there are carbohydrates in general, would lead to the production of some levels of alcohol.
Okay, well, actually, I'm sure a lot of people probably have some more questions about alcohol and they want to reach out, or probably they want to stop.
Exactly.
Yes.
So alcohol is addictive, and it's not easy if you overindulge to just quit. So if anybody wants to reach out, we have a mental health practice at Medicas, and we do addictive medicine as well. So those who want to reach out, 0501 477 340. Our WhatsApp line is 0501 477 340. You can also reach us on our social media handles, X at Medicas GH, and then our Facebook page is Medicas Hospital.
Dr. Yaw Osafo, CEO of Medicas Hospital. Now, let me remind you that we would bring you the health and wellness conversation as well in December. The festive season is here, and we thought that it would be important to have conversations about, you know, how you're eating, your movement, and your health is this Christmas. Right. So stay tuned in. We'll give you more details right here on Joy FM. Thank you so much, Doc.